Every woman is essentially aware of the fact that looking young is not just about turning back the clock. It's about giving your face, posture, and energy a new lease on life. As we age, our skin's metabolic rate naturally slows down, and as a result, the impact of our habits increases significantly, and even the smallest details can cause dramatic changes in our appearance. That's precisely why the 12 habits we'll discuss today go far beyond the ordinary skincare routines everyone knows and understands. They are the most important tools for real transformation, reducing the fatigue accumulated over time, making our skin much brighter, and even renewing our spirit. When you incorporate these practices into your life, you will not only look younger, but you will also rediscover yourself as an active, vibrant, and lively woman, feeling more alive than you have in a long time. 1. The morning cold therapy treatment that erases that obvious dull look from your face. Before the first rays of the day touch our skin, the deep and silent silhouette of the morning, the touch of cold creates a much stronger and more balanced structure on the biological structure of our face than we might expect. Our facial muscles and vascular network, still carrying the weight of the night, often cause a puffy, lifeless, and older appearance due to the slight edema brought on by the morning. In such cases, applying a gentle cold stimulus causes the blood vessels to quickly constrict and then dilate again, leading to increased oxygen flow and making the skin appear more vibrant instantly. Cold creates a manifestation of awakening on the surface, but this effect synchronously activates not only the upper layer, but also all of the deep tissues of our skin. What I mean to say is that morning cold therapy is not just a simple touch of ice. It is essentially an art that temporarily brings our skin's entire metabolism into alignment. It is no coincidence that some dermatologists describe this method as the morning revival of the face. Increasing scientific studies over time have shown that cold contact significantly reduces inflammation and tissue stress, making this method even more valuable and indispensable. This is because most of the visible signs of aging are actually linked to microscopic inflammation. The application of low temperatures soothes these micro-stresses that accumulate in the facial tissue overnight and accelerates the skin's self-renewal process. Furthermore, this thermal shock on the skin's surface causes collagen fibers to tighten slightly, making the face appear more lifted. This creates a perception of natural lifting, especially in the jawline and cheeks. Another powerful aspect of the ritual is that it directly conveys the message, "One of the greatest gestures I do for myself," which a woman shows her own body in the first minutes of the morning. Because a person who takes care of themselves refreshes not only their skin, but also their mental energy. A day that begins with a cold application increases the feeling of inner discipline, and it is inevitable that this feeling will be reflected in the facial expression. When a woman looks in the mirror, she not only looks more rested, but also more determined and more vibrant. Much of the skin's radiance is related to the outward expression of psychological energy, and cold therapy is a small but effective start that nourishes this energy. Ultimately, this small ritual, which takes only a few minutes of our time each day, is powerful enough to change the aesthetic effect of an entire day, even if only for a short time. By the way, I know this may be at least the third, maybe even the fourth video you've watched on my channel, and believe me, it really saddens me that you're still not subscribed. Because seeing you here, being able to progress together on this journey, is truly precious to me. If you subscribe, you will be supporting me in the strongest way possible, and we will move forward without ever losing each other. 2. Developing a high awareness of fluid consumption habits that brighten our faces at any age. One of the most fundamental factors determining a woman's skin quality reveals a bitter truth that is far greater than we might expect. the capacity of our cells to meet with water. When the body is dehydrated, not only does our physical capacity decrease, but some negative findings that greatly accelerate aging begin to occur, such as dullness across the entire face, enlarged pores, and much more pronounced fine lines. This is because water deficiency reduces the internal volume of skin cells, and our dehydrated cells begin to shrink, just like deflated balloons. For this reason, we should not view conscious fluid consumption merely as a health habit. It is also the most reliable and indispensable insurance for the aesthetic appearance of our skin. Regular water consumption throughout the day directly strengthens the skin's natural moisture barrier. We can easily feel this when we touch our skin. Especially after the age of 40, the amount of hyaluronic acid in the skin tends to decrease normally, and the capacity of water to be transported to the cells also decreases significantly as a result. This situation increases moisture loss, causing the skin to become more sensitive and delicate, even to the slightest impact. Conscious fluid consumption helps to rebalance this mechanism. Water molecules bind more easily to the cellular structure, and the skin surface begins to appear plumper and smoother. The effect of water is doubled when combined with the minerals our body needs, rather than water alone. For example, lemon water provides mild toxin cleansing. Mineral water supports minerals that positively affect skin elasticity. Herbal teas, in particular, have anti-edema properties, significantly reducing unwanted puffiness on our face in the morning. In general, I can say that conscious fluid consumption is not only one of the cheapest, most natural, and fastest-acting methods for looking young, but also one of the greatest investments we make for our youth. Therefore, I can comfortably say that drinking water is not only essential for survival, but also an indispensable and magical practice for rebuilding a brighter, more vibrant, and younger-looking face every day. 3. Using slightly voluminous hair that makes a woman look much younger and more vibrant. Hair volume may not be a ritual that immediately comes to mind when we think about facial aesthetics and prompts us to take action. However, it is one of the most powerful elements that significantly changes the visual perception of youth. Over time, hair strands become thinner, the roots naturally weaken, and as the overall volume decreases, the hair naturally begins to fall out. This situation not only causes the hair to look duller and flatter, it also creates a framing effect that makes the facial features appear lower, more tired, and generally older. On the other hand, a slightly voluminous hairstyle acts like a textural halo around the face, enhancing the youthfulness effect. The structure of the hair, which widens slightly upwards, lifts the cheeks, makes the jawline more prominent, and creates a more rested appearance across the face. Believe me, this is even very clearly visible on camera. There is one fact that aesthetic experts insistently emphasize: the effect of making the face look younger is directly related to the level of vitality at the hair roots. This is because volume creates vertical support starting from the roots. When the hair roots are slightly lifted, the upper part of the face appears brighter. The brow-forehead line creates a more lifted perception, and the cheek line, freed from shadows, creates a fresher effect. Therefore, voluminous hair is not just a hairstyle, but an aesthetic structural support that lifts the facial architecture upward. Not only will a woman's facial expression appear younger, more energetic, and more powerful, but her gaze will also change significantly in a positive way. Another reason why light volume is so effective is the relationship hair has with light. Voluminous hair allows light to refract better around the face, which makes the skin appear brighter and more prominent. Flat hair, on the other hand, absorbs light, leaving the face in shadow, and no matter how well a woman applies her makeup, a tiredness filter appears in the overall image. Therefore, even a small touch of volume at the hair roots creates a dramatic youth effect on the entire face. Many women start to look better with less makeup simply by increasing their hair volume. There is also a psychological aspect to achieving this voluminous look. Every small intervention that lifts the hair upward gives the woman's face an energy that reflects confidence. Ultimately, using slightly voluminous hair is one of the visual strategies that quickly changes the perception of youth in a very short time. 4. The right moisturizing ritual to refresh the eye area in a short time. The eye area is not only the most sensitive and fastest aging part of the face, but unfortunately, it is also where the first signs of aging appear. The skin in this area is much thinner than other areas of the face and has almost no fatty tissue, making it extremely vulnerable. Therefore, moisture loss is noticed much earlier, lines form more quickly, and signs of fatigue become dramatically visible in this area. The right moisturizing ritual is not just a superficial cream application. It is a scientific care that systematically strengthens this delicate tissue, increases its water retention capacity, and improves the skin's ability to cope with stress. No matter how well-groomed a woman's face is, dryness around the eyes can unfortunately lead to a very aged appearance, overshadowing all youthful effects. The most critical aspect of the moisturizing ritual is to deliver water to the skin and keep it there. For this reason, ingredients such as hyaluronic acid, peptides, ceramides, and caffeine are indispensable in products used around the eyes. Hyaluronic acid attracts water molecules like a magnet, plumping the skin. Peptides support collagen production. Ceramides strengthen the skin barrier, and caffeine reduces puffiness, helping the eyes look more rested. When these ingredients work together in sync, the eye area becomes smoother and brighter. The ritual slows down the deepening of fine lines and seems to slow down the passage of time. The application technique is just as important as the product used. Applying too much pressure with a cream can unnecessarily strain the tissue and cause more wrinkles. Instead, light touches with the ring finger allow the product to be gently absorbed into the skin and increase circulation. In addition, light upward movements from under the eyes to the temples during application support lymphatic drainage in the area, helping puffiness disappear more quickly. If the moisturizing ritual is done incorrectly, its effect is reduced. When done correctly, it gives the area a visible lifting effect. Looking at it from another perspective, the eye contour ritual can become one of the most special moments a woman sets aside for herself during the day. Because this small touch is a ritual that relaxes the mind and also creates a small meditation effect. When a woman looks in the mirror, she not only sees a brighter eye area, but also feels a softening spread across her entire face, brought on by the inner peace that comes with taking care of herself. Brighter eyes rejuvenate a person's energy and posture. The clarity in the gaze elevates the entire facial aesthetics, and believe me, this is clearly noticeable even in our communication with others. 5. A brisk walking routine that brings oxygen to our faces. The youthful glow on a woman's face is often linked to a much more fundamental physiological process than we might think: the strength of blood circulation. When circulation weakens, not only does the body look tired, but the face does too. The color fades, the skin becomes dull, and the muscles lose their tone. All these changes reveal the effects of aging earlier than they would otherwise. Conversely, when rhythmic movements such as brisk walking accelerate circulation, oxygen and nutrients reach skin cells much faster. This leads to the face looking fresher, brighter, and younger within just a few weeks. Beyond the physical benefits, walking slows down facial aging by reducing stress hormones. Thus, reduced stress also leads to a softer appearance of our face. When cortisol levels rise, collagen breaks down, which accelerates wrinkles. It has been scientifically proven that regular walking lowers cortisol. So I can also say that it has an almost natural anti-aging effect. This reduction has a positive effect not only on skin tissue but also on facial expressions. The face appears softer, more relaxed and more vibrant. Many women experience a natural relaxation and lifting sensation reminiscent of Botox effects within a few weeks of starting to walk. This is because when stress decreases, the facial muscles also relax and begin to breathe again, so to speak. Jogging also activates the lymphatic system. When lymph flow is poor, puffiness occurs in the face, edema around the eyes, and blurring of the jawline. The rhythmic nature of walking acts as a natural pump for this system, helping to eliminate excess fluid from the body. Facial contours become more defined, the jawline appears clearer, and overall, the woman gains a slimmer facial profile. Even a short morning walk can make the face look more rested throughout the day. This effect is more natural and rapid than most makeup techniques can achieve. Ultimately, when practiced regularly, women not only look healthier, but also achieve a more vibrant, radiant and youthful facial aesthetic. Therefore, walking emerges as one of the most accessible, scientific and proven routines in the pursuit of youth. 6. Regular peeling habit that accelerates skin renewal. We have come to one of the most important and valuable points. One of the most fundamental processes that determine the youthful appearance of the skin is the regular removal of the dead cell layer. Over time, this layer thickens, creates dullness on the skin surface, and prevents the natural reflection of light. This causes the face to look older than it is. Regular peeling reactivates this slowed-down cycle of the skin. It activates cell renewal and reveals the face's natural radiance. Although peeling may seem like just another step in a skincare routine, it is actually a scientific trigger that reawakens the skin's youth mechanism. Of course, the reason peeling is so effective is that it directly affects the renewal rate of the epidermis. As we age, cell turnover slows down. Skin that renews every 28 days, when young, can take up to 45 days after age 40 and up to 60 days after age 50. This prolongation accentuates wrinkles, causes makeup to look bad, and reduces the skin's texture quality. Regular peeling brings this process closer to its original speed, allowing new, fresh cells to reach the surface faster. As a result, the skin appears smoother, firmer, and brighter. I should also mention that peeling does not only provide surface cleansing, it also increases the absorption capacity of care products. When the barrier formed by dead cells is removed, serums, moisturizers, and anti-aging products used can penetrate the deeper layers of the skin more easily. This situation doubles or even triples the effectiveness of the skincare routine, especially for women over 40. In short, peeling acts as a gateway that increases the efficiency of the entire skincare system. The main reason for the fresh appearance of the face is not just the peeling itself. It is that the products work much more effectively after peeling. As a result, a regular peeling habit returns the skin to its natural youthful pace. It evens out skin tone, smooths texture, softens fine lines, and increases the overall radiance of the face. In the long term, peeling is not just a superficial treatment. It is a comprehensive strategy that keeps the skin more resilient, fresher, and younger. Therefore, peeling should be one of the cornerstones of aesthetic care for every woman fighting the signs of aging. 7. The habit of taking up a creative hobby that rejuvenates a woman's spirit. I want to talk about a practice that many of us don't really do. As the human mind ages, it wears down not only from biological effects, but also from the mental narrowing caused by repetitive routines. The same habits, the same daily cycle, and the same thought patterns reduce energy over time and produce a fatigue that even reflects in facial expressions. However, when a creative hobby is adopted, the brain shifts to a structure that challenges and expands itself. It forms new synaptic connections, dopamine levels rise, and the person's mood rejuvenates. This rejuvenation is not just an internal feeling, it is reflected in the facial muscles, posture, and overall energy. Therefore, a creative hobby is an internal source of power that changes one's appearance. There is also another point. Many experts point out that creativity even indirectly slows down skin aging. This is because during creative activity, the body significantly reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. When cortisol decreases, inflammation in the skin subsides, collagen breakdown slows down, and a natural softening of facial features occurs. Therefore, knitting, painting, writing poetry, dancing, working with ceramics, or even simply trying a new recipe creates a biological rejuvenating effect. Women unconsciously enter a psychological restoration process that makes their faces appear brighter and more rested. 8. Minimal but strategic use of accessories that accentuate everyday chic. Now, the critical point in this item is this. Accessories used in everyday life are often seen as decorative additions. However, correctly chosen minimal pieces can dramatically rejuvenate a woman's overall appearance. This is because accessories create a balance of focus around the face and body. Of course, overly flashy pieces overshadow the face, while minimal but effective details naturally draw the gaze upward and make a woman's facial features appear more defined, fresher, and more modern. Therefore, accessory selection is not merely a style choice, it is a strategic aesthetic touch that enhances the illusion of youth. In fact, there is also this reality. The biggest advantage of minimal accessories is that they balance light without overloading the face. For example, a thin gold hoop earring or an elegant chain necklace adds a subtle sparkle to the lower part of the face, and this sparkle makes the skin appear brighter. Overly large, complex, or gem-studded accessories, on the other hand, distract attention by disrupting the proportions of the face and increase the perception of age. Minimalism here does not simply mean less. It is a conscious choice that highlights the woman's facial structure and anchors the focus on an energetic point. It should also be noted that, in terms of style, minimal accessories are not a background accompanying the outfit itself. They are a complementary component of the look. A thin necklace combined with a monochrome sweater, minimal earrings paired with a simple shirt, or an elegant metal bracelet that modernizes a neutral-toned outfit instantly makes a woman's look more sophisticated. These details enhance the effect of age-appropriate elegance, especially in women over 40. This is because exaggeration makes one appear older, while simple elegance enhances the perception of youth. Furthermore, the psychological impact of accessories cannot be underestimated. When a woman wears a simple but refined accessory, she feels more complete. This feeling is reflected in her behavior, body language, and facial expressions. A woman who feels lighter with a delicate hoop earring, more put together with an elegant bracelet, or more modern with a minimal necklace carries this energy into her gaze, smile, and posture. Looking young is not just a physical state. The energy of youthfulness felt inside is reflected outwardly in the same way. Ultimately, the use of minimal and strategic accessories creates small but striking changes in a woman's everyday look. It illuminates the face, balances proportions, lightens the silhouette, and rejuvenates the overall energy. These elegant touches, made without excess, allow women to feel more sophisticated, more confident, and more modern. Therefore, minimal accessories are not just a complement to the aesthetic of youth. They are the invisible yet most powerful architecture of style. 9. Disciplined UVA, protection that minimizes sun damage. As many of us know, one of the biggest causes of skin aging is not the passage of time. It is often the microscopic damage accumulated over the years by invisible UVA rays. UVA rays can penetrate clouds, glass, and even thin fabrics. Therefore, the skin is exposed to these rays not only when sunbathing at the beach, but also during daily activities such as walking, driving, or even sitting by a window indoors. These rays penetrate the deepest layers of the skin, weakening collagen fibers, reducing elasticity, and causing the face to appear saggy, lifeless, and older over time. Consistent UVA protection is therefore not just a matter of choosing a sunscreen, but a long-term investment in preserving the skin's biological youth. I should also mention that the striking effect of UVA protection becomes more pronounced, especially after the age of 40. This is because the body's ability to produce collagen slows down with age. UVA rays directly break down collagen fibers, accelerating this process. As a result, fine lines deepen, volume loss in the cheeks increases, and uneven dark spots appear on the skin tone. Regular UVA protection dramatically slows this process and preserves the skin's elasticity. Therefore, dermatologists are not exaggerating when they say, the common secret of women who look young is regular sun protection. Additionally, another effective aspect of UVA protection is that it preserves skin tone uniformity. These rays disrupt melanin production and cause spots, especially on the cheeks, forehead, and chin. Since spot treatment is both costly and time-consuming, the best strategy is to prevent them from forming in the first place. Women who regularly use UVA protection have a more even, brighter, and younger-looking skin tone. Therefore, sunscreen is not just a summer product. It is armor that protects skin youthfulness all year round. Think about it this way. From a psychological perspective, the discipline of sun protection is also an expression of a woman's long-term respect for herself. Because this habit protects not today's appearance, but tomorrow's face. Every morning, when a woman applies sunscreen, she is actually sending herself the message, I will look better tomorrow. I am protecting myself. This awareness elevates the quality of her skincare routine and makes her feel more attentive to herself. This attentiveness creates a lightness and confidence that is reflected in her facial expression. 10. Regular facial cleansing discipline that reduces the appearance of pores. We have come to one of the most important and valuable points. The appearance of pores is one of the visual elements that most rapidly increases the perception of aging. This is because enlarged pores make the skin's surface appear rough, prevent light from reflecting properly, and make it difficult for makeup to look flawless. Over time, the buildup of oil, dirt, and dead skin cells further enlarges these pores, making the face appear older, duller, and more tired than it actually is. A regular facial cleansing routine is the most powerful way to break this cycle. Because cleansed pores appear tighter, the skin becomes smoother, and the youthful glow re-emerges. The reason skin cleansing is so crucial is that pores are not merely superficial openings. These structures are actually like tiny channels directly connected to oil glands. If these channels become clogged, blackheads and pimples form, and the pore walls lose elasticity. This loss of elasticity can cause pores to permanently enlarge. Regular and proper cleansing supports the pore walls by removing oil, dirt, and dead cells from these channels. The cleansed channel appears tighter, and the skin texture becomes smoother. Furthermore, not only cleansing itself, but also the rhythm of cleansing is very important in tightening pores. A light cleansing in the morning removes the oil that has accumulated on the surface overnight. A more thorough cleansing in the evening removes makeup, environmental dirt, and oxidative stress that has accumulated during the day from the skin's surface. This discipline allows the skin to breathe. Since the pores are not clogged, they do not need to expand. Clean skin absorbs skincare products better, and nighttime renewal is much more efficient. In addition, choosing the right cleansing product also plays a major role in the appearance of pores. Harsh, drying cleansers do not shrink pores. On the contrary, they leave the skin unprotected and cause more oil production. This can lead to pores widening again. A gentle but effective gel or cream cleanser dissolves excess oil without irritating the skin and deeply cleanses the pores. Products containing salicylic acid in particular can significantly improve the appearance of tightness because they clean the pore walls from the inside. The goal here is to protect the skin barrier while cleansing. There is also a psychological aspect to a regular facial cleansing routine. Every evening, as a woman cleanses her face, she also removes the weight, stress, and fatigue of the day from her face in a sense. This ritual creates a transition zone that also relaxes the mind. After cleansing, when a woman looks in the mirror, she sees a brighter, lighter, and more vibrant face. This small change boosts her self-confidence and reinforces her self-care behaviors. Clean skin helps a woman feel better about herself, and this feeling is immediately reflected on her face. In conclusion, a regular facial cleansing routine is the most effective and indispensable method for reducing the appearance of pores. Cleansed pores tighten, the skin looks smoother, tone evens out, and the overall perception of youthfulness increases significantly. In the long term, this discipline makes the skin more resilient, healthier, and brighter. The first and most powerful investment to make before expensive procedures to reduce pore size is a conscious and regular cleansing habit. 11. The habit of reducing salt consumption to eliminate puffiness. First, I would like to say this. The body's tendency to retain water becomes more pronounced with age, and this creates puffiness, especially in the face, under eye bags, and a general tired filter. One of the main causes of this puffiness is unnoticed excessive salt intake. Salt molecules attract water like a magnet and retain it in the tissues. This leads to blurred facial contours, fuller and heavier looking skin, and makes a woman appear older than she is. Reducing salt intake reverses this cycle. The face becomes more refined, the eye area brighter, and expressions lighter and more youthful. Of course, when salt intake is reduced, the body's fluid balance returns to normal. As cells release excess water, the skin tissue relaxes and puffiness dramatically decreases. The reduction of puffiness around the eyes, especially in the morning, is one of the clearest examples of salt's effect. This is because the body does not move during the night, making sodium's water retention effect even more apparent. Therefore, controlling salt intake is not only beneficial for general health, but also an effective investment in facial aesthetics. A noticeable lightening effect appears within a few days. Furthermore, salt's effect on youthfulness is not only related to edema, but also to the texture of the skin's surface. Excess sodium weakens the skin's protective barrier, causing it to appear drier, duller, and rougher. A face that loses moisture reflects light poorly, and pores become more noticeable. When salt is reduced, the skin begins to maintain its moisture balance. The face appears brighter, firmer, and more even. Therefore, salt control is actually a fundamental step in strengthening the skin's youth infrastructure. Even small adjustments in diet can make a big difference. Staying away from processed foods, reducing pickles and very salty cheeses, checking the labels of packaged products, and adding flavor to meals with spices instead of salt naturally reduces salt intake. Potassium-rich foods, bananas, avocados, spinach, also help the body eliminate excess sodium. These small changes accelerate facial lightening and give women a more vibrant appearance, because a lighter face is one of the most obvious signs of youth. Reducing salt consumption also has a psychological aspect. When a woman feels she has more control over her body, this sense of discipline boosts her self-confidence. Seeing a slimmer face, less puffiness, and a clearer expression positively affects a woman's mood. Women who begin to feel more energetic, balanced, and better carry a noticeable youthful energy in their posture. This energy makes the overall appearance of the face even fresher and brighter. Ultimately, the habit of reducing salt consumption is one of the fastest and most effective ways to eliminate facial puffiness. It improves skin texture, defines facial contours, and enhances the overall perception of youth. When practiced regularly, the entire facial area, from under the eyes to the jawline, appears clearer, firmer, and brighter. Therefore, salt control is a strategy that is often overlooked in the pursuit of youth, but has an extremely powerful effect. 12. Morning sunlight ritual that boosts energy levels. Friends, let me say this first. The first light after sunrise has a surprisingly powerful regulatory effect on human biology. This is because morning sunlight recalibrates the brain's biological clock through special receptors in the eye. This recalibration not only increases mental alertness, it also has direct rejuvenating effects on cellular renewal, hormone balance, and skin health. Naturally, even brief exposure to morning light contributes to a woman looking more energetic, vibrant, and radiant throughout the day. This ritual produces both an internal and external signal of youthfulness. Biologically, morning light clearly signals the body to wake up by supporting cortisol's natural rise. This natural rise is not the harmful part of the stress hormone. On the contrary, it is a healthy boost that prepares the body for the day. When the cortisol rhythm is disrupted, a person appears lethargic, mentally foggy, and dull-skinned throughout the day. Morning light regulates this rhythm. Women who are regularly exposed to morning light have a more pronounced freshness on their faces, a brighter expression around their eyes, and a dynamism that lasts throughout the day. I should also mention that morning sunlight also raises serotonin levels. Serotonin is known as the happiness hormone and also plays an important role in skin youthfulness. When serotonin levels rise, facial muscle tension decreases, expressions soften, and the face takes on a more relaxed look. This relaxation softens the appearance of wrinkles. A happier, more balanced mood directly produces a younger-looking facial expression. Starting the day with a short, light bath creates an internal chemical balance that keeps the skin looking brighter throughout the day. Another important effect of morning light is the natural suppression of sleep hormones. The sleep hormone melatonin begins to drop rapidly with morning light, signaling to the body that it is time to be active. This natural process reduces the need for external stimulants like caffeine and makes energy more sustainable. A woman with balanced energy stands better throughout the day, speaks more vividly, and this posture is reflected on her face. Because chronic fatigue is one of the fastest causes of facial aging, morning light breaks this cycle. As you can see, youth is not just a surface-level product. It is a light that emerges from a holistic discipline that nourishes the mind, body, and soul simultaneously. These 12 habits offer quiet yet powerful tools to help every woman rediscover her potential, shed the fatigue from her face, and reflect her inner energy outward more brightly. True youth emerges at the point where the right care steps, conscious choices, and self-love converge. If you incorporate even one of these steps into your life today, you will clearly see that the change begins first in your spirit and then in your reflection in the mirror. This journey is yours. And the power to transform into a brighter, more balanced and younger version of yourself with every step is entirely in your hands. I love you, and I want you to love yourself too.